right, back in the seat. Rich Casanova here for another exciting episode of Georgia Business Radio alongside Craig Williams. Craig, you're looking mighty fine in your blue here today.
You like that?
Yeah.
Like that?
Looks great for radio, man, yeah.
Well, I appreciate the
You got all
compliment.
dressed up and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a great show today, or what?
Yes, we are. I tried to talk you into letting me sit in the, the
No,
audience
no
so
way,
I could
dude.
just observe this one because this is going to be pretty hot.
Yeah, you may need to kind of bring me down a notch here as we get into the show because I'm very excited about it. And we are broadcasting live from our Pro Business Channel studios here in Buckhead, and you're listening to Georgia Business Radio. So let's jump into our spotlight guest here today is Miss Sonia Williams. Welcome to the show.
I'm so glad to be here.
Right?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. So we're going to be talking about several topics. Your business shock theory.
It is.
All right. Before we jump into that, Craig, would you do the honors? And let's hear a little bit about Miss Williams.
Outside of that fantastic last name,
Right. Coming from Craig Williams. Yeah.
I didn't say that. You did. She's an entrepreneur and executive producer of large-scale live shows and conventions, a founder of multiple transactional-based, and that's the word we need to probably keep repeating, multiple transactional-based mobile apps and platforms, meaning that...
She didn't stop at one then.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like the Lay's potato chip of apps.
Yeah, but there's transactions. There's some cash flow there. And she's the the CEO of Shock Theory, a 16-year-old digital marketing and live production and technology agency located out in Alpharetta, Georgia. She also has worked with some top brands.
Go ahead and
that we're
drop some
familiar.
names. I'm looking at some
Let me
names.
drop some of these
Wow.
names. Burger King, Verizon, American Family Insurance, Ford. The list just keeps on going up. FraserNet. I mean, a lot of people in the audience know about FraserNet and the Atlanta Business Leagues. The list is too long but really her specialty has been in the direct marketing and
Right,
MLM industry, and she has made those industries very wealthy.
Like OG for Organogold, if you've ever
Yeah,
had some
yeah.
the greatest coffee on the planet.
At the same time, making herself wealthy.
I've had some of that. That's good stuff.
So, need I say any more? Of course, her bio is going to be on the show notes, and you could find her any and everywhere on social media as well as just Google her.
Yeah, and Sonia, would you give us the best point of contact right away for listeners that want to reach out to you? What's your website or way to find you online?
Oh, just find me on Facebook at Sonia Nicole Williams, at Sonia Nicole Williams. on
Jeez,
Facebook.
I didn't know the N was for Nicole. My
Yeah,
oldest
Sonia
daughter's
Nicole
middle name is
Williams.
Nicole.
Uh-oh.
Christy
Absolutely.
Nicole.
You're
Shout out
gonna
to
have
Christy
do
Nicole Williams.
you're gonna have to do ancestry or something like that. to
something.
find out.
Because there's just too many
connection here, yeah.
contacts.
That is
connections.
hilarious.
All right, so before we jump into what you're currently doing, what's a little bit of your backstory? Originally from where? Talk to us about your family. What's your sign? Sagittarius or what?
I'm actually a Capricorn. I'm pretty hot, right?
We've never asked somebody
Capricorns are
their
hot.
sign
I'm
on the
just
show
saying.
before.
Well,
Yeah.
leave it to you, Rich. You always have those great
Sign.
firsts. Man.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. I left home when I was 15 years old. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Can I ask what motivated that, or
Well,
if
you know,
you
this
don't
is
have to share?
Well, no. It's probably not great for all the kids out there.
Yeah.
But, I'm sitting in 10th grade one day, and I'm realizing that you're not going to teach me what I'm going to be doing with my life.
Wow.
So at 10th grade, I told my math teacher that it was time for me to go. She asked me what I meant by that. I said, well, I know how to read and I know how to count. You all are not teaching technology, so I am out.
Wow. So not just you wanted to step out to the restroom in the lunchroom, but you were
No,
done.
I stepped out of
You were just
school.
stepped out.
Absolutely. I wasn't staying there, wasn't teaching what I was trying to learn, so I was out.
And I've spent a little time on your website, watched your video, which is
Oh, wow.
mind-blowing, right? But in addition to that, you do have a unique perspective from the female perspective in technology, right?
Absolutely. There isn't a lot of African American
No,
females in technology, and a lot of times they say that we don't exist, but we do exist. We're out here. We're just kind of behind the scenes. And
But
so-
doing great things while
But
they're
we're doing
behind the scenes.
definitely great things, from Firefox to the things that I do to
Right,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of other people in the industry.
I thought some reference on your website to that effect of there needs to be more of y'all, and your mission is to kind of help get that word out and help
Absolutely.
maybe mentor some other up and coming young women, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want people like myself and women, period, just to be able to indulge into what tech has to really offer, because it is one of the few industries that, if I back up just a little bit, I have a GED, and I've never seen the 11th or the 12th grade, but I've made millions in technology. Right. And I'm not saying, there are some industries I want you to go to school. That will be medical and things of that nature. But there are some other things that, somebody like me who has attention deficit that can't pay attention too long.
Right.
So technology was
And
just
creative.
perfect. Right. Technology was very perfect for me. So I leveraged it. And I want women to be able to leverage it too. But it all starts with a simple idea.
Yeah.
You just need to have an idea and the wherewithal to say, hey, I want to do X, Y, Z. You don't have to know how to code per se.
Right.
But you do know, if you have an idea and ready to bring it to life and willing to stick with it, it can come to life.
And build a team, right?
Absolutely. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work. And sometimes people stay dreaming so long, they don't know when to wake up.
Yeah.
Right? To actually
That's a
achieve the
good
dream,
one.
right?
Most definitely.
So,
And as far as women is concerned, we talked before on another show of how women are built to give life, birth life, and nurture life. And that they definitely have that sustainable foundation for sustainable platforms in technology.
They're
Because
called ovaries.
They're wired for
Hello.
that. They're wired
She just
for
said that, yeah.
lifelong, as opposed to, hey, I just want to make a hit on this, make some money on this app, and then I'm going to the next one. It's pretty much
Well, just on
all-inclusive and
yesterday's
holistic.
show, we had the two co-founders from Mavenly.
Most definitely.
And they're doing these incredible workshops around the country, all with the focus on the women's perspective on entrepreneurship.
And empowerment.
And it's very different, right? I mean, we can come together, right? As and you actually brought some gentlemen here as part of your team here in the studio. So you need that collaborative, but we are wired a little bit different. And people that don't acknowledge that are missing out on opportunities and talent, right? Yes or yes?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I think that there should be more women in higher places, such as the presidential election, but I'm just going to leave that alone. However, all I'm saying is that...
Was that you tossing your hat in the campaign for 2020 here? What?
No, I think she probably have something to do with whomever winds up there.
Yeah.
I think with what she has to offer, I think she's going to have.
I think we just got a scoop here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talk a little bit about your network
yeah,
marketing background and how you got into that.
By accident, someone fooled me, basically. Like they fool all of us, right? They come to a meeting, they got something to talk about, they got some money, they want to share it with us, right? So I get into this meeting and I realize I have been bamboozled. Right?
Right.
So the meeting took place, and I actually was really interested, but I became interested from a vendor standpoint. So being a person that could see the obvious, that they needed more than just distributors, they needed technology, they needed other innovation solutions that could reach consumers and other distributors in a very meaningful way. And so I decided to play that role, and I stepped up to the plate. Now, who knew I would be standing on the floor of the MGM Grand producing a multi-million-dollar show with absolutely no experience? But hey, it works. So network marketing has been in my life for about 18 years, and I've been very, very blessed to have been in the company of a lot of very great MLM companies and some not so great.
But we're not going to go there.
We're not going to go there, but
But Craig and I both have experience in network marketing as well, and I think one
Really?
of the absolutely. I was going to tell you about that on the elevator on the way up, but we just missed each other.
Okay.
But I think what's unique about it is to the core the free enterprise system without any regards to a person's background, any of their challenges. I've heard somebody say that when you make money in a MLM, the computer cuts you a check and doesn't make a decision on who you are, what your skills are, or what your any observation. But beyond that is that it talent rises to the top. But finally, I think the third leg is the inspiration that it provides people.
Absolutely.
You had to put that pun in that third leg, in
Oh, I didn't.
But no, I know it's just this.
But it's when you're involved in these organizations, it's the people that really want to make a difference for themselves, their family, and beyond that, to help others. But some of the best motivational and inspiring events I've been to was in that arena. But you talked about your role in technology. I've been at your website, see a lot of video and event production. But drill down, what are some the moving parts and pieces to when you say IT or technology? What do you bring to the table?
Well, we actually develop platforms that connect our world. So I'm always consumer focused when it comes to innovation. So whether it's post PC applications or is it mobile touchscreens and things of that nature, we focus on a lot of that. In my background, I actually became a user interface expert. So I actually develop interfaces based on how humans actually move. So that became my forte. So I understand kind of what would make a person click in order to design it that way.
And
From like reverse engineering it.
yeah,
Absolutely. It only makes sense. So you just simply have to follow their logical pattern of how they will actually use something in order to design something that they will actually use.
It's weird. I was just having this conversation at WeWork this morning when I suggested they move their whole coffee bar configuration around.
Same concept.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was all just, I hope they're not listening right now, but it was just kind of crowded and it wasn't very systematic. And then I was also telling Joel over there that years ago I went to an event, and when they laid out a university college, they put no sidewalks in place. And as the college students began making their way around campus, they began creating a path through the grass. And then they laid in the sidewalks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Is that kind of what you're
and that is
speaking
a lot of times that is what technology do. But what I do is I actually see the path before it's walked,
Okay.
right?
Watch
In
out.
order to capitalize on it, because I believe in transactional platforms. Oftentimes, people do develop technology that has absolutely no revenue streams. Well, that doesn't work for me. So in order for me to develop something, it has to be able to make money. So I focus on how does this make money? Now, it's pretty, it's cute, it's cool, but does it
It's
make it
flashy
money?
and-
It's
Yeah.
flashy and everything.
Yeah.
But an app with absolutely no revenue streams is you practicing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You might as well be working with Play-Doh or something, right?
Exactly. So, apps are really built on simple ideas. They're built on simple ideas because when you take an issue, you're probably not the only one who's having that issue. Other people have the same issue, and you'll be amazed as to how something as simple as pantyhose could turn into $1 billion industry.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
out our window
Right.
here in Buckhead. Spanx.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you take, it's the same thing for technology. If you are having an issue that you feel that if they only could make something that
Right.
makes it go here,
Right.
you could be a millionaire.
If they could only make it for oranges, that's my
Yeah.
challenge. It's all made for apples. What about the
Exactly.
oranges? Right?
Exactly.
I'm an orange guy, and to get an app for an orange, it's near impossible. The app is like super quick.
Absolutely.
But-
So in network marketing, I was actually hired to do an online platform, social network, if you will.
Okay.
And it grew to be the largest one in the industry. And from there, they said, hey, could you also go and market the venue of which that we're having an event at? I said,
Right.
absolutely. So I get there, take over as I normally do, get there and notice that the production wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah,
So
or
I
could
put
be.
my 2 cents in. Because it's all about people experiences. So whether your experiences is virtual or physical, it's the experience nonetheless.
Now, talk to me about this app that you developed that was adopted throughout the industry.
Which
What was
one?
the one you just said that for sponsoring, I guess, or what was?
No, we didn't talk about that. What we can.
I saw it in the video, but you mentioned in an app that that you said you developed and then it was used throughout the.
So this is in beta test. It's called
okay.
Peak Me. It's a sponsorship platform that enables you to create an intuitive sponsorship in 30 minutes or less. And it provides instant ROI. It provides you with all the information that you need, and a sponsor could make an informed decision about whether or not they want to sponsor you.
Because when I saw that, I was talking to Craig before the show, is that we use the word sponsor here in the studio as someone can sponsor their own show, become their own host, whether they're in how much involvement they want in the show. But we use a sponsor underwrite. So I'm thinking, I don't know if we can tweak that peak.
Well, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what you want to sponsor. If you want to collect some money
Yeah.
and give something
Right.
to somebody for that money,
A value,
then
yeah.
the platform is there for you.
Okay, so we need to talk after the show, but we need to fast forward to this topic of MLM Diversify. What is that?
MLM Diversify really is something that I'm pretty passionate about because being behind the scenes in pretty huge productions and network marketing, you get to see a lot of things. While network marketing is about money and is about inspiring, but it's also about recognition, right? if you're not recognized and your team don't really see you on the stage, or you're having challenges. So you can make all the money you want, and let's just be real, the computer can't cut you a check.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you could still grow, because you require recognition.
Absolutely.
And it has to be fair recognition, and that's where people come into play. So when it's time to be recognized, the computer doesn't pick that. People do. And so if people don't pick people fairly,
Right.
I've seen that.
Oh, big time. They get burned and they just lose their...
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And because we are storytellers, especially when we go out and do the video production and tell the stories of how these people lived in a chicken coop and then brought... This is a true story.
Oh.
How they lived in a chicken coop, passed the chicken coop on to their next family members, and then bought them their mansion that was $110,000.
Did they take the chickens with them, or...
No, it was when you see something like that. So we've had a front row seat to people's lives that have been totally disrupted by, in a good way,
Right,
by
absolutely.
network marketing. The lowest of the lowest and the highest of the highest. We've been there. So in between all of that, we saw the good of network marketing
Right.
and we saw the bad of network marketing. And so there hasn't been an entity that has come out to say, you know what, we want to recognize people from a distributor standpoint, where the MLM companies don't have any control over it. Distributors do. So this is a very huge distributor-focused program
Okay.
that they're being recognized for the good that they're doing in network marketing. And this is where everybody matters. So why it's certainly a diversity issue or an inclusion, an innovation and inclusion, it is about everybody matters in network marketing.
Wow. And what's the name of that award show?
So the award show part of it is called MLM Globals.
Ah.
And it is somewhat of a people's choice or a distributor's choice, because
Okay.
there's 30 categories of which the distributors actually vote for those particular categories. It has nothing to do with the MLM companies
Right, right,
whatsoever.
yeah.
And so when you are able to raise the voice of the distributor, right,
yeah.
I think that's pretty powerful.
people who are
and we're giving
representing
them
your
a
brand.
voice. We
Yeah.
want to give them a voice. We want them to be able to tell their story in a very systematic, compelling way. And I think we're the perfect people to do that.
I see a show in the works, because that's what we do. Is we tell people's stories as well and have those conversations, convert them into content. But I do want to ask about or make a comment on this idea of recognition, because it's been said by the gurus, the experts, and university studies for eons, is that, believe it or not, many people at their traditional job will they think money is the number one driver.
It's not.
It's recognition.
It's
You
recognition.
got to get paid, and you got to pay your bills and everything else, right? But many people will leave a company. They just don't feel the appreciation.
I've
right?
walked away
And they'll
from
take a
multi-million
little
dollar
bit less
deals
money.
because I was disrespected. And
Right,
so
that's crazy.
oftentimes people want to feel appreciated
Right.
in what it is that they're doing and have a feeling of contributions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
well,
wanna be
I
significant.
would even
Yeah.
change the word from want to need.
Yeah.
They need
Right? It's a
that.
basic core need, right?
Yeah.
From family, from people, and you spend more of your time where? In your profession.
Absolutely.
Right.
You spend, at least 8 hours of those days or
Right.
12 hours of those
Right.
days with other people as opposed to your family. So I think
Yeah.
it's important that people are recognized for the great jobs that they do. And even if they fail, if they try, they still need to be recognized for even trying.
Right.
And we want to fill that gap in the industry of network marketing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Talk to us about, do you feel there's a divide in the culture, between cultural groups? in MLM?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's your perspective?
Well, that's interesting. I think that I think it kind of happens in corporate America. It happens a little bit of everywhere, whereas various groups do not understand the cultural components of each other, and so there's a disconnect there. And so part of what we are doing is we partner up with another company called I&I to offer innovation inclusion, where they come up with programs so that network marketing companies understand how to accept African Americans within their organization, how to accept Latinos into their organization, and how to have that communication. Because as network marketing companies grow, they go to other countries and things of that
Oh,
nature,
yeah.
and there are other values, other cultural values that are in place, and those things need to be discussed and not swept under the rug, so that everybody has a opportunity to have fair recognition, have fair chance at the life that America has to offer,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it starts and ends with the conversation. I mean,
It's-
literally,
right.
and we need to have more conversations with other people outside of our comfort zone, those people that we may not be as familiar with, and that's why we do what we do here. I mean,
Well, you got to understand, network marketing is the only industry that the below average individual
as
could
Rich said
sign
earlier,
up,
yeah,
Has a true
inclusion model.
opportunity.
have a true opportunity
Yeah.
with real products
Yeah.
to really make a financial success effort, right? And some products are good, some products are not so good, but it really is the opportunity. And oftentimes in network marketing, you have really great leaders, but then you have really bad leadership.
Yeah.
So we
Or
wanna be able to-
mediocre is probably the worst,
Yeah.
right? When you have a
Yeah.
mediocre leader.
Absolutely, absolutely. And where there are leaders, there are followers, and those followers sometimes are always gonna say followers. So they
Yeah.
will need something else, I believe, that they could believe in, that they could follow, so that they can reach what they consider the promised land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
This is not really off topic, but just a thought was going through my mind. I think I was talking to Craig about this the other day about. I asked you, had you ever thought about starting your own network marketing company?
And I have.
have you ever thought about doing that? It seems monumental monumental, and also seems like there's more opportunity to be made as a distributor than and then the headaches through nonstop. But.
You know, and what I've learned, especially in developing technology, that sometimes you have to look at opportunities as distractions.
Yeah.
So I have a core principle of things that I lead, and that is what keeps me focused. So while I could go out at any time and go start a network marketing company, I choose to be a servant.
Okay.
I choose to serve people because it's very inspiring to see someone who had no money, came up off the streets, never had anything, be able to now take care of their family and their family generations. Something about that did something to me. So my role in the network marketing industry really is to provide what I provide, whether it be a technology, education, or an audience experience, a distributor experience. That's why I play, and that's why I intend to stay.
So you're listening to Georgia Business Radio with Craig Williams and Rich Casanova, and we're having a conversation right now with Sonia Williams, talking about all things network marketing from the IT and infrastructure perspective. Let's revisit shock theory, where we started. Where do you balance your time with all these projects now in the network marketing industry, direct sales industry, versus shock theory, and what other brands are you involved with, or who's your ideal client? Who do you want to be introduced to? How do you find your clients? That's about a 9-point question. So ready, set, go. Yeah.
Well, interesting enough, the clients find me. I'm a huge believer in the clients find me.
Okay.
While we provide marketing and things of that nature, most of the time they find us because we're not the cheapest people on this side of the earth. Right. So they find us, and that's why
How do they find you?
Online, shocktheory.com, phone call, text message, smoke signal,
Okay.
however they need to do it.
Oh,
we're
so
found.
Smoke Signal.
Absolutely.
I thought it was an app I hadn't heard about yet.
Oh no! There is a way. Either I'm out.
Okay.
When we show up to go to a show, we show up.
Yeah.
So they'll stop us. Hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, I'm always branding something, so people
Okay.
will ask us. So they find a way to find us. So with Shock Theory has lately transitioned into more of a product company of developing products. Whereas we were somewhat, a consumer could come to us and
Right.
say, oh, we want to build, a brand for them. Yes, well, we do that because I'm passionate about individual brands.
Right.
I'm very passionate about that. So when brands, when they come to us, we take them on, but majority of the time, different companies come to us to do a campaign, or whether it's something like Burger King, My Song My Way, or Ford Motor Company, or whatever that is, they will come to us, and we will put our foot down and put our foot in it and make it happen.
And you worked with a train company too, right?
Amtrak. Love Amtrak, because Amtrak really was pretty innovative. And Amtrak say, look,
Yeah.
for African Americans, we want to create this social network.
Right,
And
yeah.
it was pretty interesting that they were even interested in doing that. And then I believe American Airlines came out and did something pretty similar to it. So I believe we set the way for all of that to happen. So yeah, change
I
happens
love
slowly.
Amtrak along the West Coast. Have you ever done that? I mean, it's just beautiful coastal scenery, and you have Wi-Fi, and you're sitting there with a wine bar on board and the whole 9 yards. But Sorry, I just got. I just took a
Mini
quick break.
vacation.
Yeah, mini vacation.
She's
during the
got an
show,
app
brain
for that,
vacation.
too.
You got an
I'm
app for
sure
that,
you do,
right?
yeah. So you touched on. I want to bring back the point you just mentioned about personal brands.
Yes.
So we've been talking all these iconic corporate Fortune 100, 500,000 companies, and in the network or direct sales industry. What have you dabbled in the personal brands?
Wow. Well, we've worked with a lot of leaders within the network marketing industry. I've worked with corporate executives as well.
Yeah.
What people have to understand in the age of social media, nothing is off limits, right? So if you have a job, you are a brand because you are a person who is representing perhaps another brand as well.
Right, yeah.
So you and I both know that now in this age that nothing is personal. Your Facebook page isn't personal. Your Facebook, what you say personally on Facebook in your personal space could get you fired from your professional space.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Hold on, let me update my page real quick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what people have always been auditioning for their own commercial ever since the internet have come
I
about.
love that. Say that again.
People have always been auditioning for their own commercial ever since the internet came about.
I love that. I was just watching a webinar the other day, and they were talking about personal celebrity.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
That you are your own personal celebrity.
Yes,
I mean,
you are.
Craig can speak to this for a whole show about what you do is helping people not just write a book, which is
Just
daunting.
build their authority.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Becoming a best-selling author, but
Getting stories published and getting a third party to speak on your behalf.
yeah, establishing a brand. So if we had another hour, we would switch gears and do brand show radio. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's a big deal,
Oh, yeah.
especially nowadays when you could go online and be noticed. So
Yeah.
the times of having a bad product or a bad service is almost no longer in existence.
And
You
fudging
can't do
and
that.
fudging with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. you can't- yeah.
Absolutely. Your message could be amplified by that one person sitting in their dark room over in Nebraska.
Right.
And it could be amplified around the world and you could lose stock.
But the flip side of that is you can be a virtual unknown without the whole infrastructure of a global brand.
Yeah.
And between YouTube and a few other platforms, become an overnight sensation. And speaking of that, viral. What's the number when something goes viral? No one's going to give me an answer for that. Yeah.
Well, put it this way: when something goes viral, it catches fire.
Yeah.
Right. And we say if you could catch fire in a good way, or you could catch fire in a bad way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. A lot of times when people lose their job, they catch fire in a very bad way, which means that something went viral.
Right.
Right. And you ain't gonna be able to get rid of that as soon as you think you could.
Right, yeah.
Okay. But oftentimes it's not even the firestorm, which we call it,
Yeah.
that kills you. Is actually the backdraft. Right? So
Oh,
it's kind of different. The firestorm is when you got a bunch of people talking about it.
Yeah.
And now take Donald Trump for instance,
Right.
right? You have a 6-year-old who knows who his wife looks, who knows who his wife is now
Right, yeah.
because of social media and because of
Mind-boggling,
the different things he does to actually create these different firestorms.
Right.
The backdraft hasn't hit us yet with him, so
Yeah.
we'll see kind of what happens there. But when someone comes on social media and causes a firestorm, an uncontrolled one,
Yeah.
and they end up losing their job as a result of that, and that is the backdraft.
I love the way you illustrate that. It totally makes not only sense, but it also kind of you can create in PR. We've had a lot of PR firms and agencies come through, and one of their challenges is getting that personal brand or that brand out there and creating a firestorm, creating a buzz and a hype, right? Which then can catapult that brand. But you have to be able to kind of manage it at the same time, right? Because it can get out of control. really easy.
Absolutely. And that's what we do in some of my other life.
Stay tuned for the next show for her other life. Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's a firestorm, and there's a way that you could do a firestorm that it's a very controlled fire,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it works for you because if you can control the conversation,
Right.
or you can induce different conversations to turn the conversation. You're the Olivia Pope of social media, right?
Well, fire can be the fuel, right?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be devastating all the time. It can be an energy source and so forth. So I can't believe it. We are officially out of time. Wow. What just happened? Right? We just sat through a firestorm.
Fire.
Yeah.
It was a firestorm.
So closing thoughts, comments, Craig, and then Sonia, you want to hear what a good day looks like for you. And then how would people reach out to you?
Closing thoughts. I mean, just stay tuned. I mean, with what we've experienced today, I suppose there's going to be some other shows that branch off from this.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a firestorm here at Pro Business Channel.
That's our new show now, Firestorm Show.
So there's some key things I certainly want people to take away
Okay.
from this. Is certainly log on to MLMdiversify.com or follow us on Facebook at MLM Diversify and really get involved, especially if you're in network marketing. Network marketing is a great place to be, and it is a great place to become independent, financially independent, and healthy in some companies, right? The second thing, if you're a woman and you find yourself lost, technology is an awesome place to be. You don't have to know how to code, but you can have a situation and totally flip that into something whereas everybody else could benefit from it, and it can be solved through technology. And the last thing, from a social media standpoint, you got to understand there's two things that you need to know. One, being very authentic as to who you are is very, very key to building a brand online. The second thing to that is watching yourself online. You have to be very careful, even when you're very, very young. So when you think about it, you don't know this 13-year-old is going to grow up to be the next presidential candidate or president.
Right.
So you have to start early with teaching kids how to manage themselves and behave themselves online, because your social media leaves a digital footprint and ultimately becomes your digital credit.
Wow.
Or discredit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What's your statement about awesome? You mentioned awesome.
We're the official sponsor of Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, it's official
We
sponsor
are.
of Awesome.
If you come to one of our events, if you've been in, whether it's Organo Gold or one of the other companies, you have experienced a really, really awesome show, because it is all about the people that are on the stage, but I'm also all about the people that are experiencing it in real time.
Well, we experienced an awesome show here today in our studio, on our stage in our studio, and hope your
she's up to
listeners
par.
will listen to this in perpetuity and enjoy it as well. We're signing out for another exciting episode of Georgia Business Radio with Rich Casanova on behalf of Craig Williams. We'll see you next time.